Thanks for rejoining us, everyone. And I am now joined to my left, Miss Cherie Cornell, who really needs no introduction. She's the executive director and founder of the Real Talk Youth Impact Program. She's the whole reason why everyone is here today. And also joining us for this segment is Dr. Leary Adams on my end here. Welcome back to the show. You might remember that Dr. Leary was on our show before. And I can't say enough about the community work that you've been involved in with your fraternity. You're a motivational speaker. You're an educator. Welcome back to our show.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Talk about, the first thing that I want to talk about with the group collectively is the dropout rate of the kids and how that's affecting the children, how they're entering into the system. What are you seeing, Dr. Leary, with the dropout rate right now of children?
Well, needless to say, the dropout rate right now is too high. It's much too high. One of the things that we are seeing is that sometimes if a child gets in trouble at school, usually if a child is suspended, RPC'd, or just even gets in trouble at school, the data says that the chances for that child to be a dropout significantly increases. And once that happens, then the chances of them not graduating significantly increases. And when that happens, the chances of them becoming involved with the criminal justice system and being incarcerated significantly increases. So it's a domino effect. So it's very important that we find ways to keep kids in school and to keep them motivated.
Now, you're a criminal justice reform activist. Why do you feel that there's a need for that?
Actually, I've got a master's degree in criminal justice also. So the need is there because just far too many of our kids are actually in the criminal justice system right now. Many of our kids, sometimes when they get in trouble and they get in trouble with the law or they get in trouble with school, they turn off. They turn off, and once they turn off, it's a sure chance that there's going to be a problem there. So hopefully there's organizations like Cherie's organization, Real Talk, that's going to get in there and get involved and let the kids know that just because you've made a mistake one time, that doesn't mean that your life is over. I tell kids, boy, people love a comeback, and they love an underdog. And so when you're able to come back from negativity, that type of thing, then you know what, people love to see that, and sometimes that's all kids need. They just need someone to encourage them, to help motivate them, and sometimes it's somebody outside of the family. I know in my family I have kids, I talk to them and I may say something and it goes in one ear and out the other, but let their uncle tell them. It's a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure a lot of parents see the same thing. So sometimes just someone from the outside, someone like folks from my organization, Omega Psi Phi, where we focus on mentoring kids and working with kids, sometimes that will make a difference in our life. And if we've got one kid and we can change his life, you know what, we've done a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you were involved in a project, Bridges Back to Society, I believe it was. Can you talk a little bit about that project? And
yeah, it was a project it was last summer, and we did it here in Las Vegas. It was called Building Bridges Back to Society. And what we did was we gathered individuals together for motivation. Some folks were working towards what were some of the resources available out here in the Las Vegas area, and we actually went to the prison system, and we met with about 150 incarcerated persons at the time, and like I said, we gave them a lot of motivation, we gave them resources, just a lot of inspiration, and it was interesting because we weren't sure how we would be received. There were guys that actually cried.
Wow.
Yeah, they were so happy to feel that someone cared about them. So it's important that we don't forget those people that's been incarcerated. That we look at them, we give them resources, we give them education, that they're going to be able to work with folks when they get out, that they know that they can get a job,
right,
and that they can become an important part of society. We also did a project. It was with Angel Tree, where we worked with children of incarcerated parents, and what we did is we gave presents to the children in the name of their parent that was
wonderful.
Incarcerated. Now, see, that forms that bond, and that keeps that bond going. So when that person gets out of prison, that child will know them, and they say, my dad always thought about me for Christmas. It's coming from us, but you know what? Dad just couldn't do it right now.
Right,
So
right.
that was a big program that we had going also.
Great.
Yeah.
Lance, talk about your mentoring and your ministries that you've been involved in.
I mean, with schools, what the doctor said, I agree with him. I see that a lot of kids are in need of hope. And that goes across the board for both nonprofits, and I think with the faith side of things is that's one of the things that's missing. A lot of times with kids that we have access to, they're in trouble. They've either been expelled, they've been suspended, and so to actually listen to them and find out what's going on, they like that hope, they like that encouragement. So certain programs that we do in regards to movement across the board, so everything from movement arts to visual arts, musical arts, bringing these things out of them shows that, number one, a lot of times they're messing up in school, they don't understand. They're not
Right.
getting the guidance that they need. So again, if it's hard for a child to learn, they give up. If they're not getting that encouragement at home, they're not getting it at school, they're like, well, no one's here to help me, no one cares about where I'm actually going. To also give them, especially if they have a rough home life, to show that someone else can come in there and kind of mentor, disciple them, will help as well, that someone has interest in them. Not
Right.
where it's, it's genuine. Children can see right through insincerity. And so when they see that it's coming from a good place, they're more responsive. With any of the children that we work with, whether it's young adults or even younger kids, they'll look right through you. So going in there with an open heart and doing it for the right reason, they see that. They pick up on that and they'll start to open up to you.
Ms. Cherie, you are getting ready to launch a mentoring program within the Real Talk Youth Impact
Yes.
program. Talk about what your vision is for that mentoring program and what does it encompass?
Sure. Well, before I tap into the career mentoring program, let me just make sure that, as far as what Dr. Leary is talking about and Lance here talking about with kids and the dropout rates, we have over 7,000 kids a day that drop out of high school or drop out of school in general, and that's just a minor number. But more specifically in Nevada, we're predominantly dropout rates are the highest in Hispanics and American and African American folks. Now, not to say that that's just real. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make up numbers, but that's the reality of what we have. Unfortunately, that's the pipeline to the prison system, which encompasses majority of Latinos and African Americans. So we definitely need to put, I'm not going to say a stop because we're not going to stop that. We're going to put a dent in what's happening nationwide, but particularly starting here, because at the end of the day, if we don't pay for it now, we'll pay for it later.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I think a lot of it has to do with us taking the bull by the horns and being proactive and getting people involved, like Dr. Adams, like Lance, and all the other collaborators that we're working with. So with all of that and putting us all in a collective environment and talking about what do we do? How do we make these changes? How can we put a decrease in the numbers that we're seeing here, and then eventually ripple it out to other states so they can actually look at what we're doing and using us as an evidence-based practice.
Right.
So with that being said, the mentoring program, what I'd like to have evolve, and the goal is to have it up and running by the end of this year, we take folks like these two young men here on my side and using them as well as other people in their careers, giving these kids an opportunity to share what they want to do. We'll start at age 13 to 18, and they tell us there's the whole process that we're going to go through. It's in draft format right now. So they share with us what it is they want to do. 3 careers. And people who've been to college understand, you go 4 years, you have this internship, this is what I want to do. I'm going to be a doctor, or I'm going to be a veterinarian, or whatever the case may be. And then they get into that internship for the 4 months that they have, and then they go, yeah, not so much. I don't think I can do this for 15 or 20 years, So with that being said, I want to have a program developed to where the kids from the age of 13, because generally, it's that kind of like that fence line age where they're going through puberty and things of that nature, but some of them also are a little mature enough to be able to decide what direction they want to go.
Right.
So we give them this opportunity. Fill out our application. Give me 3 of your top career choices. I don't care what they are. We'll start you off with this one. We now know what you want to do. Let's say you want to be a principal of a high school. Guess what? Dr. Adams was a principal. Let's hook you up with Dr. Adams. You may meet with him. You start your mentorship. Then you realize, yeah, not so much. These kids are driving me crazy, right? So the kids, the mentee understands all the ins and outs of the mentorship, and then they realize, yeah, I don't think I want to do this. Okay, let's take you out of that one. What's your second career choice? And then we hook them up with the second career choice. Basically, what we're trying to do is find their niche. They have that 8-year period with us. So if they go through our mentorship program, and let's say they just don't find it in the year for when they're 13, maybe when they turn 16, they say, you know what, I'm ready, Miss Cherie. I really know what I want to do now. Okay, well, let's go through the mentoring program again. And so we take them through these different phases so they can figure out exactly where they want to be in life through this process. And it doesn't have to be college, because some kids don't want to go to college. Maybe they want to learn a trade. Maybe they want to have their own business. So we will have the resources for those kids to get involved with that particular company or that particular person that does welding or may do auto body or mechanics. We want to find what they want, not what we want. Because kids get so tired of us telling them what to do.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I understand, and I'm a firm believer that kids need to be heard. But we're not going to be able to help you if you don't tell us what it is that you want. And so we walk them through these phases. So that's what we're doing, and that's why I've included Lance, and that's why I've included Dr. Adams and a couple of other people who have been through my program or seen my program and understand the vision of the program, and allow them to see what I'm proposing and get their input to find out if this is something, am I in the right direction? And so
I think this is going to be huge for all of the kids in the program to be able to take advantage of something like that.
I sure hope so. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I keep telling people, you get, if you don't give a kid opportunity, you have to have opportunity for change. And if you don't have opportunity, kids don't understand. How can they change? They're just existing in the environment that they're in. Maybe it's good, bad, or indifferent, but you have to give a kid hope in order for them to see that I can reach this.
Now, what will be the criteria that you set for the kids to qualify for the mentoring program?
There's a lot of different criteria that I'm going to request of them, but one in particular, would I love to have a criteria where you say, no, Miss Melissa or Miss Melissa, you'd have to have a 3.0 to join us. That's not fair. I want kids who, even if they have failing grades, you have the opportunity to join the mentoring program, but you have to get passing grades. You have to bring those grades up. Now, because you have people who just barely made it through high school and are doing very well with their business or with a partnership that they've acquired. So I don't want people to think that just because they're failing in their grades that they can't be a part of some mentorship, because the mentorship can actually allow you to boost
sometimes that's all
themselves.
they're going to need is that mentor, and to see that grow. And when Ms. Cherie mentioned what she was going to do in regards to the mentoring and the career mentoring, we were so excited. We really were, because it's an opportunity for us to really share our life experiences with some of these kids also. And if we can see that we make a difference, especially kids that's not doing so well in high school. I tell the story, and kids look at me funny, but I graduated high school, don't tell anyone, but with a 1.5 grade point average. High school, believe it or not. And I'm a doctor.
Dr. Adams.
And it's like, so I tell kids, never give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Sometimes the light bulb goes on just a little bit later for some of us.
Absolutely.
But there's a chance that it will go on. And hopefully somebody's going to be there to catch them and to support them and to push them on. So.
You really supported the program in a big way. You actually gave Cherie a plaque and recognized her for the work that she's doing in the community. How did you first learn, take me back and refresh my memory, how did you first learn about the Real Talk Youth Impact Program, and what is it that you saw in the program that made you just so motivated to get involved?
Actually, it was one of my fraternity brothers also that works with some of the kids there. He's a psychologist, and he works with some of the kids that go through Real Talk. And he said, guys, there's a lady here, Miss Cherie, she has this program, and we have some kids that really, really need some help. We need to come on out and see what's going on. So we came out and we saw, and what we saw was phenomenal. We saw the input of some of the gentlemen that had been previously incarcerated and the positive that they were giving the kids. And then there's the other aspect of some of us that had not been incarcerated that would be able to talk with the kids also. So they're getting it from two different places. And it's a wonderful thing to hear. And once we saw that, and when she said, oh, I'm really interested in maybe some career mentoring also, we said, hey, we need to be there. We would like to be a part of that. And that's how we got started.
And they've been a big part of it as well. I mean, they're really behind the fraternities. Omega Psi Phi are really supporting what we're doing, not just for Real Talk, but for the mentoring program. And they actually donated $1,000 to
Wow.
the program.
Nice. Very generous.
To start us with background checks for any career
great.
mentors that we are going to have be a part of this program. And so we're always in search of people who want to give back to the community. We're looking for professional people that are interested in coming on board and spending about a year of your time to get involved with these kids. And you know, we can't do it all. You know, there's more facets to the program that are going to be incorporated. I'm hoping within the next year and a half, outside of the mentoring program, because I want to evolve and get into youth ministry. Not a mandatory, because I know a lot of people, they don't know about God or they choose not to learn about God, but I'm going to share it. And then if they want to come, they
and
can.
I definitely want to get Lance in on that,
Yes.
because he's real big on the ministry.
Sure.
And why would you want to bring that to a program like this? Why do you think it's vital?
Faith is a huge guide of hope, and that's one of the things that's missing. I know people look at society now and with different rooms of what the problem is. That's one of the biggest problems. It is the correlation between of what's going on in the schools, what's going on in society with the absence of God, loose morals. Because again, when you just go back to basic understanding and teaching of it, it's not where it's like, well, religion. No, it's not that. It's let's have morals. Let's talk about different reasons of why people are acting this way. And I think when a child, because I was an atheist, I told you, like,
I
20
remember
years.
you telling me
so
that.
when
I
he
was
woke me up, my whole life
blown
turned
away.
around, and that will structure how you then walk forward. You know, some of the troubled youth that we work with, because again, when they see people from different walks of life that have faith, and they go, wait a minute, you're not the normal person I would think is doing that, it changes them. I think it breaks a lot of the preconceived notions, both when you have mentors from different fields and you have people from different backgrounds that have faith. It helps them say, well, wait a minute, I'm not a loser. I can actually do something with my life. You're investing in me. Because again, a lot of people have preconceived notions of what they've been told. But when they see something and they're there, like, well, you keep on showing up each week, so you actually do care. It helps them have more clarity in their walk. So I think it's a huge part of, number one, helping them grow into functional, well-established adults. But faith is a huge part of that. Because again, two people can have the same job. What's the difference? How are the morals? How are you actually growing that child into a man or a woman correctly?
Right.
Sure. And you know, and the thing about it is, you know, my whole thing is taking away the kids' excuses. You know, for anything. I was raised in this environment. My daddy went to prison. My mom was on crack, or whatever they choose to say. This is why I can't become this.
Right.
You know, or I can't get involved in activities because I don't have money, or my parents can't take me. So the whole goal of the spectrum of Real Talk is taking away your excuses. Okay, so you want to play whatever. You want to play activity, you want to do piano, you want to do whatever activity you want, we'll pay for it. You need equipment because you sign up for football. Okay, now you need to get cleats. We'll pay for it. Okay, and then on top of that, we want to create some balance. We're going to give you God, a youth ministry to sustain what we just talked about, what he just was talking about, morals. Now we're preparing you for a career. Which direction do you want to go? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a gynecologist? Do you want to be a dentist? What is it that you want? So I'm trying to give this to them. This is called opportunity. Without opportunity, there's no change. So I don't want to hear your excuses. If you come in this, and it's all free. You come into the program, you get
What's not to love?
you get all the different aspects of Real Talk. And then the last thing I'm going to create and hopefully get this going, some traction in the dirt, is a leadership program. So now they've learned how to, the yeses and nos as far as what they shouldn't do as far as getting in trouble. They have a faith-based, if you will, program that they can choose to get involved as far as the youth ministry. We have the career mentoring program. We have people like these gentlemen readily available to share how they got to where they are. And then you have the leadership program. You've taught them how to become the doctors. Now let's give them to be a leader. So when you finish the mentoring program, the career mentoring, let's slide you right into the leadership program.
I can't wait to see all of this come to fruition.
Me either.
I'm excited. Very excited about it. We have just a few minutes left, or a few seconds left, and I want you to talk about the fundraiser that you have coming up.
Yes. Well, all this is not going to be possible unless we continue to get funding. So tune into the I think we're going to have a scroll for where you can donate, but we have a fundraiser coming up June 9th. For any folks who are local or anybody who's out of state, we are trying to get teams built for the Bowl-a-thon. June 9th at the Gold Coast. We are looking for sponsorships. You have a team at 5 people for $100. It is going to a great cause. Please get involved with us. Give us a call. Let us know that you're interested. So far, we have given away over $53,000 to kids' activities since November of 2014. And we have serviced more. We have serviced now 1,175 kids through the program and 670 graduates to date, which is a 57% graduation rate.
Outstanding.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you to my guests today, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.